Okay, hello everybody and welcome to this episode of the SMCast. Today's episode topic is Mysterious32 because on October 22nd, I believe, is the second anniversary of Mystery Month, and on October 19th is Mysterious32's birthday. It's gonna be a pretty nice day. Because Mysterious32, he's my cousin Daniel, as you guys all know. I hope you guys know at least. And he is gonna be turning 17, I think. He's a big boy now. And, it's kinda hard to see him, go off on his own and do his thing pretty soon. But it's more of a wow, just because, I've been watching him grow up from a little boy into the man that he is today, and it's great. It's really been great to watch his journey to where he is. So we're gonna be talking about him today, and I'm gonna be just telling a few stories. I'm gonna be telling some of his life goals. I asked him if I could make this episode, so he said yes. Not featuring Mysterious32, but yeah, okay. So quick recap on what's been going on. As always, you know how I like to talk about myself for a little bit. The SMCast is a weekly podcast where we talk about a bunch of different things. Today's episode is about Mysterious32. I've been doing pretty good. Just about me for a second. I've been doing pretty good. I haven't really been having too many problems, but I've noticed that a lot of people have a problem with me, just for whatever reason. I don't know why. But, I'm pretty good at, pissing people off for whatever reason. Not on the internet or anything, always in real life. But, yeah, so, not a big deal. I don't really care. If you don't like me, then, that's fine. I don't like you either. But, okay. Let's jump into Mysterious32. So, Mysterious32 is a really good person. He is my boy. He's my cousin. We met when he was 9 months old, and I was 1 month old or something like that. And, we've been best buddies since forever. He's a great dude all around, really. He's 17 now. He's a big boy. He plays football. I think he does drama, ladies. And, he's really cool. He wants to be an actor when he grows up and goes out into the workforce. His acting is pretty good, actually. He's been in a few plays. They've all been school plays, and I've seen a majority of them. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a majority of them. And I feel like his best role was, he played Smee in the school's production of Peter Pan. Now, if you've ever seen Smee, and if you've ever seen Mysterious32, aka Daniel, if you've ever seen Daniel, and you've ever seen Smee, if you put the two of them side by side, you could not find a more opposite kind of person, at least looks-wise. I'm not trying to say that he couldn't play Smee, but, you gotta really convince me that you're Smee. And, I think he did that really well. He was able to put his own spin on the character. And even though Smee is an old white guy, and Daniel is a young black guy, he did really well at being able to combine the two into where it still felt like Smee, but you knew that it wasn't Smee. You knew, looking at him, you're like, that's not Smee. But then when he talks, you're like, oh yeah, that's Smee. It was kind of cool to be able to watch that, and it was funny because he told some jokes, and the jokes were funny. Let me just say, the jokes were funny. The script, didn't make too many of the jokes funny, because a lot of the jokes kind of didn't make sense. But I remember that in that play, the way he delivered them was really funny. It's kind of like on a show, when a joke is written, and the joke's not funny if it's told by someone with a monotone voice. But, the way that he said it made it funny, even though the joke itself wasn't funny. If he said, hey, a kid got run over by a car and he lived. That's not funny. Good thing the kid lived, but oh, poor kid. But the way he would say something like that is, he would make it funny, which, is pretty good. it's really good when you're able to act even within the boundaries given to you by mediocre writing. But it's actually really nice to be able to see him perform, and I really hope to do more of the watching him perform thing in the future. I'm actually kind of waiting for a time where one of his plays is caught on tape. Like, not caught on tape, because they've all been recorded, but one where, like, he would be okay with me and him reacting to it, like, live on stream or something like that. I really want to show you guys his work. I really do. Like, just, it's pretty good. And, I'm not sure, like, what college he wants to go to. He's a senior now, so he should be applying to colleges, like, next month, actually. So, I'm not really all too sure what it is that he's gonna apply for. I think he was saying something about, like, a college in Boston last year. And I was like, boy, you want to be an actor? You live down the street from Hollywood. I mean, come on, boy. Because he lives out in LA, like the LA area. I'm about an hour away from LA. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go across the country to go to college. And I was like, okay, what do you want to do? I want to act. But Hollywood is, like, right there. He could live at home and still be going to school in Hollywood. He doesn't want to live at home. And I completely understand that. When you are kind of feel trapped, not trapped, because, like, living with your parents is, like, that's cool. That's fine. But, the way he wants to, like, go out and see the world, and, that's the college experience, and I totally get it. It's very important to be able to see the world. Me, personally, I'm probably still gonna be living at home when I'm in college, because I want to go to, like, a school that is relatively close to my home. Like, the college that I'm thinking of applying for next year, or if they accept me, I would go, is probably a 15-minute drive from my house. I'm not even kidding. It's like, it's really close, and I really love that. But, I'm not entirely sure, like, what school he was telling me about a few weeks ago, but I asked, like, oh, where do you want to go to college? And, he said something out in Hollywood, and I was like, yeah, boy, because now he's going to go to college out in Hollywood, and, then I'll be able to see him more, and that'd be great, because, we see each other, like, once a month, I think. Sometimes a little more often. It kind of depends. Like, we see each other at every family function. If there's a party or something, then, we gonna be there. When we were kids, we used to have sleepovers all the time. We still do, to an extent, but, it's slowed down a lot in the last year, I would say. I would say it's slowed down in the last, like, I would say in the last year, because before we were having maybe, like, a good, like, once a month or so. I saw him earlier in October, but for a while I hadn't seen him just cause, like, life stuff gets in the way. You know how it goes. And, we still talk a lot. It's, like, he was probably one of the people that I'm closest to, in the family, because, my family is, I love them to pieces, but, yeah, they're just, they're family. I mean, my grandmother always is like, oh, you shouldn't be taking that medicine. Take this herbal ointment. And I know her heart's in the right place, but, like, it's recommended by doctors, Grandma. I mean, you can't get much more official than that. Than, oh, my doctor told me to take this. So, it's not, like, a bad thing or anything. It's like, I know she cares about me, but it's like, I mean, give up your ointments now. I'm not gonna take that eucalyptus oil to heal my cough. Okay, that's what my Dayquil is for. But Daniel's pretty different in the sense of we are basically the same person when it comes to stuff like this. Just in the real world, I would say he's me, and he has my confidence, but he deserves that confidence. Like, I feel like out in the real world, I am more confident with myself than he is, but it should be the other way around. I feel like he is a cooler person than I am, just in the sense of, he holds himself up better than I do. Not that it's a bad thing, not that I, like, put myself down all the time or anything, but, like, the way I hold myself in public is different from the way he holds himself in public. And, I am a lot more confident with myself, because I kind of think, like, oh, these people are never going to see me again, and if they do, I'll be on their TV screen. So, joke's on them. But, he kind of thinks in a similar way. Just, we're very alike. We always grew up being basically the same person. Not the same. Well, we were different. Like in our cousin group, he tends to be the leader in the sense of like his word would have more sway. Just because he's older, it makes sense. For what he says to be more hey and respecting. Sorry, I just yawned. But not to say that I wasn't like heard or respected as a kid, but just he carries himself really well. Actually, he carries himself very well, and he's basically an adult at this point. I remember when we were kids. I've told this story before, but this is probably one of my favorite stories. So when we were kids, and by kids, I don't mean like, oh, I'm an old man. I mean kids, I mean like in between the ages of like 5 and 10 when we were like kids. We were like 7 or 8 at this point. And we were playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl, right? And we were like, hey, we need a name to put in. He already, for some reason, had the name Mysterious32, and I think it's from an old video. I'm not going to share the old video, but in that old video, they talk about a company that Daniel made. It's a fake company, and he said, brought to you by Mysterious Productions, and I think that's where he got the Mysterious from. I've actually never asked him where he got the Mysterious from. I'll have that be I don't know. If you guys want to know, just ask him. Follow him on Twitter at Mysterious329. It's kind of cool that. And anyway, we were playing Smash Bros. Brawl. He already had this name, so his name was like Mystery on the Brawl thing because you could only fit like 7 or 8 letters. And I was like, what should my name be? And then he came up with the great idea of SM22. And I have to give full credit to him for coming up with my name. I really do. Just it's a nice story, not because it's interesting, because no one blows up or dies or anything in this story, but it's a nice story for me because I'm able to show that that my best buddy had a real impact on the channel today, and if this channel ever does take off and go somewhere, he'll probably be the first person I think. Really, because like he's not super active on the channel, everything, but he's always been my biggest supporter. He makes fun of me about my channel a lot, but it's all in good fun, and he's been the one person who I can talk to him about anything. Really, just there's some stuff that like I wouldn't even share with like my parents or my sisters or anything, because like I never had a brother, but with Daniel I feel like I do. It's just he's the brother who doesn't live in my house, so he's the ideal family member. You're close, but you don't live together, so that's cool. In adult life, and by in adult life I mean in college life, if I do move away from my parents, I would really like to be his roommate. He probably won't like me to be his roommate or anything, but it would be nice. It would be nice to live with him for a while. I feel like that would be a good bonding experience. And yes, we do have our disagreements. Like every family member does. Name one family member name one family who doesn't have their fair share. Hey, motorcycle guy, stop. I don't cut anything out of these episodes, so just whatever. But it's like there's no family member not family member. There's no family that doesn't have disagreements. That's just part of the job. That's part of the agreement. Like, if you have a disagreement, then you're able to settle your differences. But no matter what, we always do end up coming together. And I was a dumb kid. He was a dumb kid. We both made some dumb kid decisions. But even today, we are still as close as we were when we were kids. And it's kind of crazy that my brother, my best friend, is turning 17. It's one of the craziest things to know. Not that I didn't think he would make it this far. I'm not saying that. Just to know that he's here and he's going to be going places in the future. That he's gonna. I'm not his biggest supporter, because that's like his mom's job, of course, when it comes to his acting thing, because his mom's the one who like takes him to practice and picks him up and everything, but she is required to be his biggest supporter, you know. But apart from that, I think it would be, damn it, that's grandma's job, you know, because, you know, she lives closer to him than she does to me, so she hangs out with him more. So she's probably his biggest supporter apart from his mom. But again, she's required. So then I think it would, no, but then it wouldn't even be me, because it would be his sister. But then, like, his sister also lives with him, so that's kind of a requirement too. After those 4 people, his ma, his dad, his mama, or grandma, and his sister, apart from them, me, right there, I'm 5th. I have no requirements whatsoever to support him. I could just show up with flowers at a play and be like, wow, it was good. And he was like, where were you in the audience? And I'll say, I was in the very front, when really I was out back. I wasn't even paying attention. I walked in when I heard everyone clapping. But, you know, he's a real good family. You know, it's just, I like to say that the YouTube family is my family, my second family. And it's kind of great because he intersects both worlds. Like, he knows exactly what the YouTube spectrum and what the community is all about. And he respects that a lot. He really does. And then for him to be my real family on top of that is just, it's a blessing. You know, it really is. Like, if you aren't religious, then you probably don't know what a blessing is, but I'm not even like I'm not even super religious, but I mean, I do believe in God and everything, but you know, that's a different story. I'm a Christian. It's a PG Christian server, okay? But it's a real blessing. I'm not going to say blessing in disguise, because that would mean something bad happened, but it actually ended up being good. But it's just, he's always been there for me. He's always looked out for me, you know. His motto is, no one can bully Saya but me. And that's a good motto to live by. It kind of is. Just, you know, whenever you wake up in the morning, just look in the mirror and say, no one can bully Saya but me. And then, you know, that'll just keep you going on your day. And looking back on everything that we've been through, on everything that I've been able to accomplish because of him keeping me going forward and everything. Just, I owe him a lot. So for his birthday, I've decided to give him $10,000. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna give him $10,000. I don't have that kind of money. But this episode of the SMCast is being uploaded on his actual birthday. So I'd like to hear some happy birthday Mysterious32's down in the comments there, you know, if you care. But it's just great to have a family member who, despite being a cousin, feels like a brother. You know, and you feel like you know that person more than you know yourself, you know, because just, I've watched him grow from a young boy into the young man that he is today, and it's been really great watching him at every step. It's been great watching him fall, because it's funny, but he always picks himself back up, and for some reason, he has always been able to push forward and move further ahead than where he was in the first place. And it's great to be able to see something like that. And, you know, he's my brother, and I wish him a happy 17th birthday. You know, happy birthday, Mysterious32. I love you, man, I really do. So, this episode of the SMCast was more personal for me than it was about helping any of you. I hope some of you listened all the way till the very end because, I got kind of gushy about Mysterious32. It was kind of nice. And, so he'll be here more often in more stuff, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. He has all his theater stuff and all his, senior stuff that he's got to do, so he can't really appear on the channel as much as he used to be able to. But he'll still show up when he can. So, this has been the I'm your host, SM22, and this has been the SMCast.